whatever you're doing, don't stop doing it. Don't believe, even if nobody's backing you.
Don't stop believing.
No copyright strikes.
Because it's a cover, dog.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I'm an original singer.
Streetlights.
You watched Squid Game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Checked it out. I peeped it.
Peeped it? Yeah, what'd you think? Pretty good? Intro. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Malcolm Eugene.
Will Robertson here.
And today we're going to kind of do our little review on Squid Game. Squid Game, this show that kind of no one's been talking about. I think we're the first.
Are we?
Yeah, we're the first to talk about it. So
we are the first.
We're putting you guys on a new TV show called Squid Game on Netflix.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. There's going to be games, questionable decisions, but you know what?
And lots of money.
Yeah, there's the win. There's the win.
So first thing and foremost, the basic premise of the actual show is that people are in debt. It follows the main character. What's his name?
I can't even say it.
Okay.
I'm going to butcher the fuck out that
We are not going to use the culturally appropriate biological given names.
Woo!
Because
it's going to be a swing and a miss. A lot of misses for me.
I'm not Korean and I'm terrible at it. So I'm just going to be like number 1 or
456.
Or 456.
There we go. We'll do that.
So number 456, which you'll come to realize that
spoiler alert.
That is his number in the game.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
Is in a lot of debt.
Not as debt as a lot of the other ones, but my guy owes a lot of money.
He owes a lot of money, which is the whole premise of the game. All these people owe money, and they enter this game to try to win money in order to pay off their debts and actually kind of elevate their lifestyles.
Boom.
It's not the kind of game that you would think. Childhood games.
Yeah.
Red light, green light.
Mm-hmm. Tic-tac-toe, 3 in a row. Got it.
Oh, yeah. We definitely got to do a version of Squid Game. Yeah, you lose the game, you lose your life.
But the drawback is every time a player or players dies, the pot gets a lot larger and larger and larger.
And I got a theory of that because if you're watching the show, their doctor is like harvesting organs from them and selling them to the black market. So I'm kind of thinking that the money going into the pot is from the organs being sold to the black market. There is a finite price tag on everyone.
There is. I mean, they were harvesting everything. The kidneys, the liver. They even talked about, though, during the show, like, we would have gotten more, but the one with the eyeball hanging out, we only had one kidney or whatever. So they make reference to that all the time, but it was a big part of the side hustle was a certain group of people that were a part of the Squid Game, not actual participants, but, the squares and triangles, the people who were supposed to kind of keep everything in charge were making money on side with the organs and everything, and working with a contestant, giving them information, hey, the next game's going to be this. But the whole thing was there was Easter eggs along it, like on the wall and everything, telling, showing the games actually. So there's certain things. There's a lot of Easter eggs in there. I didn't go watch a spoiler thing, but if you pay attention, a lot of it's kind of told.
Right.
What's going to happen.
Who do you think the biggest villain of the actual show was? Some people are going to say it's the old man. Number one
was the old man. I'm going to disagree there. I'm not going to call him per se a villain. I would say more of an anti-hero. So, in the benefit of himself. So, what was his number? 288?
We're going to call him Sang-woo because that's the only one I can remember.
Yeah.
Other than Sabyuk because she was beautiful.
Yeah. Well, she was. But the guy that basically went to college and everyone believed he was smart and brilliant. He was doing so well across the country. At least his mama was led to believe that, and we all know he was an incredible amount of debt, embezzlement, all kinds of nasty, gnarly shit. But a lot of people would say he's probably the villain, but like I said, I consider him more of an anti-hero just because for a certain period of time he was riding with everybody. But when we got to the part with I would say the cookie part, the shapes, he knew exactly what was playing. Yeah. And he said, "Oh, I'm gonna go with the triangle."
Right.
And then old man, who was aware, obviously. He went with the star, which in a way, he went with one of the hardest shapes. So what does that say about him then? He knew.
Is the star the hardest shape, though?
One of the hardest shapes to carve out and make. I mean,
I don't know if it was the hardest.
I mean, compared to obviously the umbrella, but the fact that he let his best friend, who they kind of grew up together, pick the umbrella, was kind of the beginning of showing his true colors, because he knew game. You know, Ali lucked out and he had the circle, you know, and lucked out there. But that was kind of the beginning part that kind of showed you, oh, this motherfucker's, you know, I led y'all to believe we on the team.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, as long as I get through, I'm golden.
He's not a team player, which granted it's not a team game.
Even though it was the point.
It is, but it's not.
Exactly, but they knew at that point they're not all going to get out.
Right.
But they needed to work together, and that's what they did. They were supposedly temporarily aligning themselves together, building themselves a team. You know, with the old man, and then later on the women get put into it. But
where did it backfire? Episode 6.
I would say then definitely with Ali.
Not just Ali, but the dude and his wife. He picked his wife as a partner.
Yeah.
And they were playing. This was game number 3, and the loser of the game ends up dying.
Yeah.
That was dark.
It was, but I mean, it didn't hit me as hard. I mean, obviously with the two girls, because they formed that friendship.
Yeah.
And old girl decided to sacrifice herself for her friend, you know, because she's like, I sat there and I couldn't think of anything what I would do outside of here, and you've got a brother waiting on you. I mean, I didn't cry none, but that was very, to me, deep. And even you know what? When I think about number 1 and 456 interaction,
that one hit me the hardest.
Why did it hit you so hard?
That one hit me the hardest because 456 was about to lose, and then he started playing the old man. Like, so basically 456 was basically the most humble of the group.
I would say that.
But then in that particular moment, he started to make decisions that would put him ahead.
Yeah.
Selfish type of decisions. Mm-hmm. And when old man or number 1 called him out on it, I was like, yo.
Faked it the whole entire time. He peed on himself, did everything. Faked the whole thing. The memory loss.
Including that.
Yep. Faked all that shit up to that point. And then, you know, the knife in the heart with him. He's like, you know what? The fact that you took advantage of me, why did you do it? And then at the end, he obviously took it away. But a lot of us, if you pay attention to that, they never show him die. They didn't show Ali dying, but they showed Ali getting incinerated.
Yeah.
So that's when you knew right away, all right, he's in on it. So by episode 6, into 6, beginning of 7, you were like, all right, this motherfucker was in on it. Even though if you pay attention to the first episode, he's counting people.
Yeah.
You know, just counting people. And everybody's like, oh, he's just doing it because of, you know, the dementia or whatever. And he's just trying to count because he said, you know, the doctor told me to do this or whatever. I'm like, no, he wasn't actually doing that at all. But, and then you got to think, red light, green light. He was the first one to take off running. Think about that. Even after everybody was established, he still took off and was in finished or whatever. And if you pay attention to the little sensor things, they never locked onto him.
Yeah.
They never locked onto him.
But the thing is, so I've seen that in a few like Easter egg videos. It didn't lock onto him, but did it not lock onto him because he wasn't moving? Because the players that it was locked onto then got shot.
Well, yeah.
Because they were moving. But if you're not moving, it's not going to lock onto you. So I think that particular theory is kind of reaching in that aspect.
You think?
If you don't know anything past that, if that makes any sense.
Okay, I guess there is no way really disproving, because it didn't show him all the way like stopping or anything. It just showed him going after it. But I mean, obviously,
it's like, oh, he's not lit up with the red X. Yeah, because he's not moving. He's playing the fucking game.
The way he's supposed to feel it. So I guess you can't. It's kind of hard to draw conclusions from that. It is a bit of reaching. So I will retract that statement. That is very true. So what about you? Was 288 or whatever his name is? Was he the villain?
I would say 288. Just because you saw selfish intentions come so early on and all the way through the game, especially when they started doing the whole jumping across the bridge.
The jumping across the bridge, I think, was just for the Ali thing. Number 6 sealed the deal for a lot of people for him.
Yeah,
everybody was done with that.
That was it. Yeah,
because Ali was probably the purest heart there. Even though he knew the rules of the game, the man was still so selfless.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people found him relatable, I think.
Yeah.
Because he gave. He trusted this man with his life. All right, cool, we'll reconvene and everything like that.
What character do you feel like you relate to the most?
Oh, well, that's a good question.
Because for me, I relate to multiple, in a sense. I relate to number 1, or the main character, mainly because I speak highly of my friends. I want to see everyone succeed. And, I gamble. Not in the literal sense, but in the sense of just taking risks, and sometimes they don't always pan out. I identify with old man, mainly because I look at humanity, especially in today's world, and I'm like, yo, there is no hope going on right now. There's definitely no hope for a lot of people, especially the mind state of so many. So I definitely identify with that mindset. When it comes to Sang Woo, I can find myself in situations where I would do whatever it takes, but I also have that conscience in the back of my head. Like, how is this going to affect the person? But in a life or death situation, I get it.
I get it. And most people would say, even though he did all that shit, everything he did when he pushed the dude, through the glass, everything, most people would find that acceptable. To me, to a certain extent, see why he did it. We're running out of time.
Yeah.
This motherfucker he no longer can see it.
Yeah.
We don't have anything else to test it. Motherfucker run out of time to cross the finish line. So, to a certain extent, these people weren't necessarily good to a certain extent, but we're running out of time. So, even then, that wasn't meant. To me, the cross the line is when he cut old girl's throat.
Oh, yeah.
That, to me, was too far. Yes, she's dying. And yes, I see his logic behind it. I'm putting her out of misery. Yes, she was suffering or whatever. But he's right. 456 was right. We don't know if they were going to come. Obviously, once they opened the door and we saw that he cut the throat, that's why they were there. But who's to say that they wouldn't have helped her out?
But I think they were there. They were behind that door waiting for that to happen.
I think so. They knew inevitably. They pretty much had a kind
because
of...
Because they came immediately out with the box.
Exactly, because he cut the throat over. But that, to me, was a bit far. I would have rather seen her... Yes, it would have sucked to see her bleed out, but it had more of a moment with him. Because they were kind of growing close, We all knew that they weren't going to team up. I mean, she's in no shape to team up or do anything. But we all knew inevitably the way the story was going, they was going to come down to one in 288. We knew it was.
Let's talk about two people I'm glad kind of hit the bucket. The gangster dude and that annoying chick.
Yes, when she hit him with the old...
that German suplex.
The old... I called that. I was like, suplex! My God! through the glass!
Through the glass!
Through the glass! But when she saw Saberman them basically detonated on him, they meme everybody. Like he got Yumsha. Oh God, he was sitting there. His voice, he was a bit annoying, but
did you watch the dub or the sub?
I watched the sub. It was way better in Korean. I read the fuck out of that shit. It was way better. I thank God. I got 5 minutes into the dub. I could probably handle the dub. Everyone's exaggerated. It can't be that cringe. Absolute. Oh, I'm done. I'm done.
You should watch it a second time, the dub version. It's hilarious.
Is it really?
It's hilarious how bad it is.
Maybe.
Maybe
I will do it. But I agree. It was her and him, and, she eliminated him, taking him out the games, suplexing him through the glass and everything. It was just like, you kind of, since I saw that meme, you kind of knew once she jumped on it, I was like, oh, this is where the meme came from.
Yeah?
So that kind of gave it away then.
So here's one. Is the cop dead?
No. He intentionally shot his brother up in the shoulder. He intentionally did that.
Yeah?
Most people are trained center mass. It's easier to shoot. It's harder to shoot. Oh my goodness. It's harder to aim at a shoulder or do anything like this. So his brother is 100% alive still. He knows his brother. He's confident in his brother's skills. He knows his brother got away.
Yeah.
And we all can. It's safe to say that now his brother, who was front man, is now running the games.
Okay.
Because do you think there's going to be season 2?
I kind of don't want there to be, but I also have questions.